because you need to I think there is a 10 or 15 minutes window that we need to start. Anyways, so let me just check that whether this video is streaming on my channel or not, because that's important. If I see that it's not even streaming, then it's not going to work out, right? Okay, so it's streaming on it's streaming on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and what? I don't know. In mornings I really forgot that. Let me just share it. So I have shared this on my Facebook page as well. So wherever you're listening to, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, let's not waste time and let's just start reading. Great. So he was talking about gratitude yesterday. It was amazing. The reason is that it actually clears our mind, and there was like a small exercise as well to make a gratitude log. So I don't know how many of you have done it, but I didn't do it yet. I will create a Notion page today for only for the gratitude, and I'll be doing that there. And yeah, so chapter 7 to 9 that we're going to read today, it's like it's 29 pages, I guess. Yeah, it's 29 pages around. Okay, let's go ahead and read then. Here is a nice thing, because each and every chapter start with this quotes, and I really like it. And it says, spiritual practice. This seventh one is a spiritual practice, and because in yesterday's we learned that through spiritual process we can give the ability to come out of the mental loop that help us transform the greatest difficulties into opportunities. So whenever we get any difficulties, we can transform them into opportunities through spiritual process. So what is spiritual process or practice that we can do? Here is the thing. So spiritual practice is the foundation of our happiness. It guides us in times of turmoil and grounds us in times of joy. Meditation can help us embrace our worries, our fear, our anger, and that is very healing. We let our own natural capacity of healing do the work. Thich Nhat Hanh. I really like this guy, and but I haven't read any book by him. I think I need to pick one. We are not human beings having spiritual experiences. We are spiritual beings having human experiences. So I think I have read this line somewhere. Any other books? I don't know which book is it. Please let me know in the comments if you have read, if you have read this in any other books as well. So here is a very nice thing he talked about is that we can there is simple way to explain the spiritual practice. There is hierarchy of connections in spiritual practice. Okay, so there are three types of connection. One is inside ourselves, one is outside ourselves, another is inside ourselves. There is a last one that is called above ourselves. So outside ourselves is like the all the networking relationships, our work that we do, that is all crucial. um, but if we have no inner direction, then we actually seek out this because we have the fear of missing out, that okay, if I don't take up this opportunity right now, someone else will take it. And we have this thinking that somewhere else there is a better opportunity. It's not the thing that it's not that there is some problem with that specific thing. So that actually leaves us leave us actually out of balance of our lives. So that is a symptom of incorrectly prioritize happiness outside ourselves. There is another one called the inside ourselves. So that is beyond our everyday life. So we sometimes look within that. Okay, um, we try to see, people try. I'm just going to read this because it's going to be very helpful. Then people struggling with life, those trying to work on themselves to conquer the external world, those curious about their inner world, and occasionally a few of those seeking the truth. These are the types of people who will take the journey within. So some people actually work on their inside too. Let me just charge my laptop. I think there is no charge left much. Okay, let's start. So yeah, so these are the people who actually try to find the look for solace inside them. And there is some people which is above ourselves. It's like they actually simply find try to find which is try to find the progress or the direction. When they feel lack of direction or progress, they actually try to find it beyond them, beyond external or outside journey. They actually try to find it through their god. Or it's not about our god or their god, it's all about it's about everyone's god. So god is one, he says that here. So they try to find it on our god, right? So that is there. And yeah, here's a very nice analogy I really liked, which says that a bulb on its own is just a piece of glass with a tungsten filament. It needs an electrical charge to experience light and give light to others. Similarly, it is our relationship with something higher than ourselves that can give us love and allow us to give love to others. So he says that we need to have a higher need to have a relationship with something higher than ourselves. It's not like anything like outside or inside. It's something that is beyond us, right? So yeah, that is amazing. Here is a very nice thing I'm going to read. Meditation is like a plane. It first takes you high, then far away, and then further away imperceptibly. I see meditation like a plane because when you take off, you immediately start gaining altitude. We experience worry and anxiety in life because we take things out of perspective. Meditation enables us to look down at all our anxieties, problems, and worries through a higher vantage point, thus giving us a great sense of peace and calmness. Yeah, I have experienced it personally, and I would confirm that this thing works. Even if it works, if you do it for like, because I meditated for a like quite a long period of time, like 3 to 4 years. So I have experienced this, and the thing is that it really it takes you to practice it daily. If you do practice daily, then it's going to work. Yeah, so that's important, right? So here is all the benefits that he has actually says, like develop we can develop the best of qualities within us. It allows us to experience self-realization, and through meditation we can but this takes time and is often imperceptible. For example, if you look outside the window on a plane, it does not look like you are moving very fast, but 8 hours later you are landing halfway across the world, right? So that is how actually meditation works. So whenever you will see that, okay, whether you are progressing or not, but you will see that, okay, there is no progress, but after some time you will be somewhere else. So that is the power of meditation, and it works, right? Meditation becomes difficult because of our mind. It is said that the mind is like a restless monkey, always jumping from one thought to another. It does not become peaceful just because you say so. It needs to be controlled. Therefore, meditation is a discipline that helps us control the mind, right? So it's like a discipline which we can use to control our monkey mind. So mind is always like a monkey. It jumps from one thought to another, and who can confirm better than us, right? You also know that, right? For example, the trains of Mumbai keep the city's economy moving, but what keeps them traveling is the fact that they are bound by the tracks, schedule, and destinations. Similarly, the mind, without being bound by the discipline of meditation, will not be able to reach its destination. Some day it will feel like meditating, and some days it will not. Yeah, honestly, I have experienced this. Come on, I think it's not only meditation. Mind is always like this. Sometimes I feel totally super encouraging to go to each and every platform and try to upload videos everywhere, but someday I feel that, okay, I feel worthless actually, that okay, I'm doing something. Yeah, mind is like this. My mind is like a monkey, I would say. So yeah, so I see that from Facebook people are watching. Thank you so much if you're watching. Yeah. So Harry said that I don't have time to actually meditate. He says that I have seen celebrities, CEO doing this thing, but I don't have time. So here is the nice line that Gaur Gopal Das used, which says that people with no time to spare need it the most. So if you feel that you don't have time, you need meditation most in your lifetime, because people who are actually busy, or they think they are busy, they should integrate meditation in their lives, because they are the people who need it most. So that is what Gaur Gopal said. Yeah, yeah. Here is a nice thing that Gaur Gopal has connected gratitude with meditation. He says, like, He says that people who meditate develop a habit of practicing sincere gratitude, which helps them in all their relationships. It is a relationship strengthening emotion because it requires us to see how we have been supported and affirmed by other people. So here's the thing. So people, he's saying that people who actually meditate or practice it sincerely, they actually see the benefits in this lifetime. So you don't need to go to any other lifetime to see the benefits that is happening because of the meditation. So it also strengthen the relationship with our emotion as well. See, because otherwise we are like a deaf people, or we can't really see that how see the good or positive things in the world because our mind is not clear. So it's really important that we meditate, and we will see that how people how we are actually supported and affirmed by people. A lot of people are there in your life who actually support you, who actually care for you, but we don't see all this kind of thing. Whenever something bad happens, we just focus on that thing, and it's okay that we need to fix that thing. We also know that, but it's not like that we should always stick to that only. We if we think about positive things also, that will help us to get rid of this thing, like get rid of this thinking of negative, right? And so we can take better decisions in this way. So here's the summary. So I'm gonna read the summary as it is, which says that we are not human beings having spiritual experiences. We are spiritual beings having human experiences. We are not this body. We are a spiritual being. So this line really impacted me when I read this for the first time. I totally forgot from which book I read it. I may have some highlights which I really need to dig into to find out, or maybe I will be asking this on my Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please go ahead and follow me. So these are the all social handles that you can see right now on the screen. So we need to understand the hierarchy of connections. Ultimately, we must connect to something above ourselves, such as God. This can give us the power to spread happiness and joy around the world, right? So there are many ways to connect to God. We may have our own, which is great, and we should go deeper into it. One of the most effective methods that has worked really well for me is mantra meditation. So Gaur Das actually does this type of meditation called the mantra meditation. So it's really simple, I would say. It's just reciting some deity's name or God's name while you're just sitting on a straight posture. And some people use Om, some people use some other deity's name. So it's all up to you that what you're doing. So it doesn't really matter, because the thing that matters is you do meditate, right? Great. So that is the second will, called the relationships, because we read the first will here. The first will is like personal life. So these are all the wills that needs to be correctly working in your life to actually feel happy, to be happy in life. So that is the personal life needs to be good, relationships needs to be good, work life needs to be in balance, social contribution needs to be there, right? So these are the four things that needs to be there, and so that you can actually feel happy or be happy. It's not like only feeling happy, it's actually about being happy as well, right? Great. So that's the 8th chapter. It says speaking sensitively. Okay, we should deal with each other sensitively. Our attitude towards life affects how we act in our relationships. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word strips up anger. Yeah, Solomon, I should remember this. This is a very nice thing. A gentle answer turns away wrath, and but a harsh word strips up anger. So that's important. So you need to be calm and cool every time, which is not possible sometimes. But let's see how to deal. So guys, I will be back in 30 seconds. So guys, I'm back again, and yeah. When he was in the airport, in an immigration line, so a lady comes to him through all the passing through all the lines, and she asked that, Swami, can I help you with your bag? Because Gopal Das was having only one laptop bag, one simple bag, and he didn't need any help, so he said, no thank you, I don't need it. And but she was really curious, and people were like staring them, so he said that, okay, let's stay in the immigration line together. And here is a very nice thing he said, I really love this. So he says that frequent international travel and social dealings have taught me a valuable lesson, which is to fight the strong urge to judge someone based on initial interaction with them. Everyone has a fascinating story that we know nothing about. Amazing thing. We have we sometimes say that first impression is the last impression, and because the reason is that people actually initially judge people whatever they do for the first time. But Gopal Das said that he actually get rid of that urge, because he met a lot of people, because he travel abroad a lot, so it's really important for him to stay grounded to actually, because everyone has a story that we know nothing about, right? So that is right. That is amazing, right? I will be back in 2 minutes, guys. So I'm back here again, and let me just There is a nice lesson that um, I want to say read as it is. If it says that I remember thinking to myself that if we do not deal with others sensitively, we could ruin our relationships with them. Being attentive in our relationships is crucial to our success. How we behave towards others determines the quality of our life. It's just my personality is not an acceptable excuse to be insensitive towards others, right? So we can't really say that okay, it's my personality to behave like this. So this is not the only way to like ignore this saying that okay, my personality is like that and we can't really behave I can't really behave with person like this. So you can't really give this kind of excuses, right? Here is this thing, I think it happens to you as well, and because it happens to me a lot, it says that when we are overtly familiar with people, we forget how important they are to us and the correct way to behave with them. So whenever we know a people for a long period of time, even if it is someone who is a celebrity, who is your idol, and if you know him very well, there is a chance that after some day you will feel that okay, you will take him or her for granted for some time, I would say, because you will feel that okay, you will feel that how you will forget that how important they are and or they were for you, but they're not now because you know a lot about them, right? That happens, and he says that this is the kind of thing that really happens, and that actually ruins almost the ruins the relationship as well sometime, because we feel that okay, we know a lot, okay, what else which we should know, right? And the importance is lost sometimes, right? Yeah. Here is this amazing thing I didn't know. That is stunning, but I don't know whether it actually works or not. But yeah, that's really nice. When we treat intimate objects like sorry, not intimate, inanimate objects. Give me a moment, guys. In 2 minutes, I will be back. So I'm back, guys, and yeah. So the thing that I was saying here is this. So that I really liked one thing, which is I don't know whether it works or not, but yeah, I think we should follow this anyway. The reason is that we should respect each and everything, even if it is a simple object, right? When we treat inanimate objects like buckets or our possessions with disrespect or insensitivity, we will end up treating people the same. At one point in my life, I seemed to be losing a lot of my friends, and I heard this advice from one of my guides. Insensitivity becomes part of our general attitude, and our instinct does not discriminate between things and people. Hence, when we treat our things badly, we might notice that insensitivity gradually creeping into our relationships with the people around us. So when we, treat any objects in without any respect, that we see that actually flows through our whole life as well. Like we actually get insensitive towards people as well, not only objects. So yeah, that he says, I'm not sure that whether it actually happens or not. Please confirm in the comments, or I don't know, if you even if you don't confirm, just let me know what you think about it, right? Because I really want to know this, right? Great. Yeah, this happens sometime. Let me just check. I don't know why this happens, but here is the thing that Harry said that if he can't really kick a bucket, then Ronaldo and Messi will feel guilty all their life because it's their life is based on kicking a football, right? So with that reply, Gorkupal said this: everything has its utility and must be used in that particular way. Would you ever use a ruler to measure the temperature? I hope not. We should use things for the purpose they have been designed for, but should treat them with the utmost dignity, value, and respect. Right? So everything has its purpose, and we should use that object for that purpose only. Right? So if it is the object, but we should also respect this object, and we should give it utmost dignity and value as well. Right? So I just it's not written in the book, but I need to still say this: Messi, Ronaldo, all this footballer really give respect to the football a lot. They kiss the football every time they win something better, right? So it's not like that. The object is actually made for the kicking, so it's not about the kicking. It's all about how actually they feel about it. They value this thing a lot, right? So yeah. So here's the thing. At times we incite the response that people give us when we look at them, while keeping in mind that we also need to improve things about ourselves. It is easier to assess how we should behave with others. So it gets easier that how to behave with others whenever we see that okay, when we look at the look at those people there, and keep them in mind and see that we have a room for improvement as well. So it's not like they are shouting, we need to shout as well. We are seeing that okay, there is a room for improvement as well. So it gets easier to assess how we should behave with those people, right? Yeah, okay, great. So here's the summary. We must be sensitive with our words and actions. Being sensitive means to think about how the other person may feel before we say or do something, right? For example, Mansi's negative experience at the ashram that I reside in affected her outlook on the whole community. Okay, how do we practice being sensitive? We must treat even inanimate objects with consideration and respect. If we do not, then the mentality of insensitivity may become a part of general attitude. One's instinct or general attitude does not discriminate between things and people. Treating things badly can affect our attitude negatively, which may uh, percolate into our relationships. Okay, that's thing. Okay, that's the chapter 9. That's the last chapter that we're going to read today. And yeah, so how many pages we need to read, I'm gonna check, because the time is an issue, because I woke up late. It's not your fault, guys. So there is 8 pages I need to read, not so much, I guess. So here's the quote. There are many virtuous vision, that's the chapter name. There are many ways to perceive others. We should start choosing the one which magnifies the positive and avoids the negative. Amazing. Anyone can find the dirt in someone. Be the one that finds the gold. Oh, Proverb. So 11:27. Proverb of what? I don't know. Okay. Let me know from where it is. I'm not sure. Okay. Wow, this story is like amazing, guys, amazing. So let me just read this story as it is because it's going to be awesome. Okay. So Gopal is reminded of a story because a lot of people are there who actually see bad in others. Okay, so the story is all about that. So let me just read this as it is from the book. So yeah, there was a young couple who lived in a nice home in a beautiful neighborhood. For some reason, the wife just did not like the woman who was their next door neighbor. One morning, as they were having breakfast, the lady looked out of the window and saw her neighbor hanging clothes on the clothesline. "Look at that," she said to her husband. "Did you see how dirty their clothes are even after washing them? I'm shocked that a middle-aged housewife like her does not know how to wash clothes clean. Maybe she should go back to her mom's home and take lessons on how to wash correctly." Her husband listened silently. Every single time her neighbor would hang her clothes to dry, the young woman would not miss a chance to make some sly comments. After a few weeks, the wife saw her neighbor hanging clothes on the clothesline again, but this time something was different. "Did you see that? Amazing," the surprised wife said to her husband. "Finally, her clothes are clean. I am sure she did not wash them. Someone else must have done it for her." Without even getting up from his seat to look at the neighbor's clothes, the husband responded, "You know something, darling? I got up early this morning and washed our windows." Isn't it a fact that what we see in others depends on the window that we are looking through? Washing our own windows can change our vision. Amazing, amazing. We look through, our mind is the window that we look to others, right? So if you are okay, so it's a fact that we see or perceive the person as we are, right? So that is the thing. So I'm just gonna read this line again. Isn't it a fact that what we see in others depends on the window that we are looking through? Washing our own windows can change our vision. So there are different kind of people, like type 1 people, but type 1 people don't even agree that their windows are dirty. What to speak of cleaning them? They not only continue to perceive the clean laundry as dirty, but also keep bad mouthing it, right? Type 2 person is like a person who sees both the good and the bad, but chooses to neglect the good. So there is a type 2 person also that who actually neglect the good, right? So they can see both the good and bad, but they somehow neglect the good, right? So yeah, there's the thing. The second type of person sees the good and bad in people, but make a conscious decision to neglect the good and focus on the bad. Yeah. Like some people have selective hearing, people of this type have a selective mindset. Okay. Many of my videos have gone viral over the last few years, but they do not come close to matching the popularity of dog videos. We tend to be infatuated by dogs, so much so that we are left wondering what we did to deserve this faithful friend. An interesting story reveals how devoted dogs are. I don't know how far it is true though. So there is a story again. I really love stories when books, any book talk about different kind of stories. So here's the thing. A man was once buying groceries from a supermarket. He was pushing his trolley whilst looking at the scribbled list his wife gave him when he crashed into another trolley. "Sorry," he exclaimed automatically, but what he saw shocked him. It was a dog pushing the other shopping trolley and picking up a variety of things. Amazed, he followed the dog around from aisle to aisle, snooping on his every move. The dog picked up fruits, chocolate, bread, pasta, a bag's worth of provisions. Then he went up to the cashier and pulled out a few dollar bills to make the payment. The monotonous cashier was unfazed. It seemed as if he was familiar with this furry friend. The man then saw that the cashier gave the dog $10 less. The dog barked and tugged at the cashier's trouser leg until he gave him the correct balance. How is this possible? The man thought, standing there gobsmacked. I have to find out who owns this intelligent dog. The man followed the dog all the way to its home on the 15th floor of an apartment block. You guessed it, the dog pressed the correct floor on the elevator, reached a dark blue door, and dropped the shopping. He then began to scratch the door, making a whining sound to get the attention of his owner. After some time, the owner opened the door and started shouting at the dog. You useless, ungrateful, good for nothing animal. I hope you got everything. Then they both went inside. The man was even more bewildered now. Did the dog's owner really just say that? Curious, he knocked on the door 3 times, twiddling his thumbs, anxious to ask the owner why he had shouted at his genius dog. It opened. Yes, the owner asked rudely. Sir, I just had a question. I noticed that your dog did all the shopping from the managed to get the correct change from the cashier, walked all the way back to his building, pressed the right number on the elevator. He's unbelievable. Why did you shout at him? I have to know why. It may be gone, but you can listen to my voice. It will be come back. So don't worry. I don't know why this happens. Keeps happening to it. So yeah. I just had a question. I noticed that your dog did all the shopping from the supermarket for you, managed to get the correct change from the cashier, walked all the way back to this building, pressed the right number on the elevator. He's unbelievable. Why did you shout at him? I have to know why. Yes, all that's normal for him, but that is the second time he's forgotten the keys to the house. It's pathetic. I had to get up and open the door. The man stood outside the apartment with his mouth wide open in disbelief at what he just heard. Isn't this the story of our lives? Our friends and family are doing so many good things, but we neglect them and focus solely on the negatives. Wonderful things are occurring all around us and within the people we love, but this type of person can only think about how the other forgot the key. Amazing, amazing. His dog did like all the shopping for him. He went to the correct floor. He actually pressed the correct elevator button, and he even take the correct change from the shopping mall. But the owner was angry because he did not pick the key so that he can open the door by himself and open and go inside. And see, so that is the thing. Here's the thing. Our friends and family do a lot of things for us, but we just neglect them and focus only on the bad things, right? And yeah, wonderful things are occurring all around us and within the people we love, but we actually we are the type, but some type of person are like this who actually neglect all this thing and focus only on the bad things that are happening. There is a type 3 person who is like a person who sees the good and bad and the bad and is neutral to both. So they don't really care about good or bad, right? They're neutral. Okay. So it's nearly impossible to find such a person. He says that such people are disconnected from everyone and everything, either due to their self-absorption or indifference, and they just don't care. It's nearly impossible to find such a person. Very rare person are like this, who actually sees the good and bad and also neutral to both of them, right? Because as a human being, we have a tendency to lean towards either good or either bad, right? So there is a very few people who can like do this. So he's saying, right, here's a type 4 person who are like a person who sees good and bad but consciously chooses to neglect the bad. So they choose to neglect the bad only, right? So yeah, let me just read something about this kind of person. Here's a very nice thing. To focus on the good and deal with the bad is a principle that can save relationships and help us make the right decision. So there is a story of Aditya Birla. So if you don't know, Aditya Birla is a huge man in India. So it has all the amazing brands as well. Like we sometimes shop from More, which is and Pantaloons in India. These are all by Aditya Birla. So keep this story aside, and let's back to it. So Aditya Birla was the CEO of the multi-billion-dollar company called the Hindalco Industries. So one of his employees actually did a mistake, and he lost like $1 million from the company. So instead of suing that employee or sacking him, Aditya Birla actually listed out all the good things that this employee does for the company. Also those times when he made $1 million for the company, right? So he wrote this once he done that, that culture was flow through all of his company, all of the through his organization, and people started to remind themselves all the good things that people are doing for them instead of focusing on the negative aspect, right? So yeah, so that's why he says that to focus on the good and deal with the bad is a principle that save relationships and help us make the right decision, right? So there is a type 5 person who are like a person who cannot see the bad at all. They see the slightest good and magnify it. Okay. Some people are like, okay, they can't really see anything bad, they just see if the slightest good and just magnify it. Okay, so there is so much big. These are the people also exist, right? Let's see how they do it, and let me know which type of person you are. Okay. So here is a question that came from Harry, and I think we should ask this as well. Can you clarify one thing? How do you totally neglect the bed? With that reply, Gaur Gopal Das said, neglecting the bed does not mean that we do not deal with it practically. It just means that we do not allow our mind to focus on and hover over the bed. That's the difference. That's the difference. Harry seemed to agree with the point, vehemently, though I don't think he fully understood it. Like I did just now. That's nice, right? So let me know if you understand this fully. So yeah. So here's the summary of this chapter. Seeing the best in people can be challenging at times, especially when we are constant proximity to them. Before I read this, let me just tell you what Gaur Gopal Das said is like the type 4 person who actually sees good and bad but consciously chooses to neglect the bad is the person that you should be, because for the type 5 person you don't actually see the reality, or you don't think about it in a practical terms, because you just totally don't see the bad. If you don't see the bad, then the decisions will not be right. So these are not going to be practical situations if you just keep emphasizing the good, right? So it should be in a part of try to be in a part of the part 4 type 4 person who you need to see the good and bad as well, but consciously choose to neglect the bad. It's not like that you're unconsciously just neglecting the bad. It's not like that. You're just consciously saying, okay, this is the bad thing, I choose to neglect it, right? Okay, seeing the best in people can be challenging at times, especially when we are in constant proximity to them. We can perceive people in the following 5 ways: see only bad and magnify it, see good and bad, neglect the good and focus on the bad, see good and bad and be neutral to both, see good and bad, choose to focus on the good and neglect the bad, see the good and magnify it. Okay, so we can perceive people in the this five way. See only bad and magnify it. See good and bad, neglect the good and focus on the bad. See good and bad and be neutral to both. That is very hard to find this kind of person. See good and bad, chooses to focus on the good and neglect the bad. That is the person you need. You try to be. Okay, I will try to be. Okay, see the good and magnify it. Okay. The ideal state is the fourth stage, he said. Yeah, that's the one. See good and bad, choose to focus on the good and neglect the bad, right? In which one's relationships flourish. So if you are in that type of person, your relationships will flourish. Reaching the fourth stage takes consistent hard work and practice. It's not like that you just saying that, okay, I will be the right type 4 person. You need to practice it constantly, right? Okay, so with that we have completed chapter 9, chapter 7 to 9, so of this amazing book called The Life's Amazing Secrets by Gaur Gopal Das. So I hope you liked today's video. So yeah, if you're reading with me, thank you so much. And all the social handles that you see right now on the screen, please follow me wherever you are active. So yeah, thank you so much again, and